I have a copy of Super Metroid I'd like to start playing on my Super Nintendo, and I don't know the background of this, and it's unlikely to have had its battery changed, so I'm going to try changing that so I can enjoy Super Metroid without the fear of my game being wiped. Hi, I'm Andrew Armstrong and welcome to the Back Office Teardown Lab. We're going to be using a Nintendo special bit to allow me to open up this cartridge. You can get these online from Amazon for a very reasonable price. In fact, I think I got the pair of these for under a fiver, something like that. Under £10 and you'll be alright. The quality of these is actually really good, and in the past I have made my own bits to do this job, but frankly don't bother, just buy these. So we'll pop open the cartridge and have a look. This is the PAL version, but it's a weird version in that it's got strange subtitles. I think it's got German subtitles, and I'm not even sure if you can knock them off, so that's annoying. So it's something that to bear in mind if you're buying these, that you might get foreignish ones. So you can see the battery quite clearly here, CR2032 sitting there in the corner, and that is the bloody nice looking, to be fair, Nintendo PCB. And if you get this far, you might as well, I mean this is a good guide really of how to clean them as well. If you've got that edge connector there and you just eyeball it, you can see here it is a little bit dirty in places. It's kind of slightly dirty if you compare one end to the other. So if you have one of these PCB cleaning pens, you can just rub that along. I'm going to do half of them. I know you probably can't see them while I'm got my hand in front, but you can see I'm just gently rubbing them. Don't rub the green stuff. You want to keep that as clean as possible. And you can see how these look nice and shiny now compared to those which are half dull. So while I'm here, might as well do the old job here. And if you've got some contact cleaner, you could spray a little bit of contact cleaner on a cloth and then just give that a nice little buff. Get it nice and buffed up. And I'm sure once you've done this, your whole you're not going to get that issue where you have to blow in the end, which they say don't work, but I think it does work. It does seem to work for me. So that's just a very quick clean of that while we're at it. That was by the by, really. We're after the battery. Now, I don't have a direct replacement, so you should go and find a direct replacement that has these same solder tangs. So I'm going to try to molest this one to make it fit. Yeah, you might say that's not the right way of doing things, but it's my cartridge and I'll repair it how I whatever want to. So get your soldering iron nice and hot. This will be the first. No matter how you're going to go about this will be the same process. So we're going to attempt to get the battery out in one piece here. And if you've got a saved game on it, it's going to go bye-bye unless you hook up another 3-volt source to the PCB. And I think that could have been quite an interesting video, but I'm a lazy YouTuber. I'm not going to do that. But yeah, we could. That's pretty easy, to be honest. Look, that's the battery just popping out just like that. There you go. Wow. Game erased. Sorry, Samus. Sorry about the jump cut. There's no hiding it. Sometimes life gets in the way. However, we're back again. And I think we've made some progress because we've removed that battery. But also, in the intervening time, some new batteries have came. Well, I say new batteries, new battery holders. I thought I'd give a go on these because I knew there's going to be a little bit of a gap in the video owing to unforeseen circumstances. So I thought rather than soldering a battery in, jury rigging it, why don't we do it the proper way, which I described earlier. So I do have, of course, the bits and pieces we were going to assemble and create a new cell with. However, these were on Amazon and they look like they would do the job. Now, I did size them up and it looked like it might not fit exactly the same way that the battery came out, but we could probably make it fit, if that makes any sort of sense to you. So bear with me. I ordered, it came in a pack of 5, which is handy, so you could do a bunch of them if they actually work. So the positive is this bar here, and that would go on this wider aperture. So that is really close. If you look, it's actually pretty close, so we can definitely bend that in to fit. And that's it being bent in to fit. So it would look something like that. But the key problem is whether or not it'll actually fit inside the cartridge enclosure. And ooh, it's pretty close. You can see it's kicking it. Just a teeny amount, actually. Let's see if that's a problem. If it's not a problem, then we just go for it, I think. Oops. I think the cartridge will take that. You can hear it's a little bit creaky because the cartridge is fighting it slightly. Now, there is another option, and that is to mount this on the rear, which also would work pretty good. So let's get that in there. There is actually another even option beyond that, but we'll come to that if we have to. So you notice the cartridge, by the way, the PCB will only fit in a certain way because of these two tangs. So if you're struggling, line those up because those will be your friends. And let's see how that goes. Oh, no, it doesn't like it. So we're going to mount it on the other side, but before we do, let's just see how these are constructed. And you can see that there are a number of standoffs here. So if you really didn't want to put any strain on the PCB, I suspect you could go in and whittle down these plastic nubbins here, and that would do the trick for you. I don't really fancy it myself. I don't think it's necessary. I think it's going to be okay as is. So I'm just going to roll with it. I'm going to roll with it. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to say what I say and not let anybody get in my way. So I'm just going to squeeze that in. Just looking which it might be beneficial to bend in the positive tab a little bit more. My negative tab is bending, but that does. Oh, that's rather firm. These are definitely better quality than the ones that are actually on the battery itself. Yeah, that'll be just right. So again, fitting it the right way around. And it's trying to slip out here, so that's probably a good sign in a way. It's a little bit loose. So I'm just going to get my solder ready because I'm going to have to do some of that annoying one-handed soldering. But if you've got some of those helping hands or something similar gadget, you could avoid that. Look, but that was okay, wasn't it? We've hit that main frame. I'll explain. That's looking really good, actually. There's also the possibility, just looking at that, if you could probably get it down. In fact, I might just do that. Let's do that. You could get it down probably additional millimetre or so by shortening these pins. These pins do seem to be a tiny bit longer than that centre there, and I think you could just do without them. So that whole thing will definitely sit down now a little bit more. Again, make sure you get the polarity the right way around. You don't want to have a little mishap. Not sure what will happen if you put it in the polarity the wrong way around. It could have the potential of ruining your cartridge, so that's something you definitely want to avoid. That's nice. You can see now that's as super flush as it's going to get. And we'll apply the same to this end. So now that's looking really quite smart, isn't it? And all you need to do then is pop your battery, and this is one I previously kind of duffed up, but it should be absolutely fine. You just pop it in straight like that, and let's hope with the battery that will all fit in the case unmodified, because I don't think I'd paid much attention to the thickness of the cell itself. So that's it now, and that's really starting to kick out a bit now. Ooh, dearie me. Ooh, dearie me. Yep, I'm not too proud to admit, but that did not work. So we're going to trim this and see if, as predicted, that will help or not. So just going to go at it with the side cutters. things happen, you know, this is how we learn. The final iteration, hopefully. Very thin peg. I've really filed that down. This one is all, should be about right. The holes are clean. Please, 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 please work. Just pushing that in. Oh. I'm just going to bend over the pins because we have a bit of extra pin meat on this one. Then a touch of solder. And we should be able to soon try that in the case. Trim off the trimmings. So that is as flat as you're ever going to get it now. If this doesn't work, it's back to the drawing board. It'll be one of those projects that you know you wish you never started. You're not entirely sure you needed to do it in the first place, but oh, yeah. Very satisfied with that. That actually is pretty good. So all that remains is to whack that together. Now I don't know if there's a reset procedure. Hopefully the chip will detect that something's happened with the memory and the cartridge itself will reformat. But that should be good for another, I don't know, decade or two. And if ever you want to change the battery on this, it'll just be a very quick affair, really. If you order those on Amazon, you'll have plenty. You can just go around and do all your cartridges. Hope that's of some use to you. As ever, thanks for watching.